Alright, welcome back to another Objectively Correct Tier List. Again, my opinions are objectively correct. You're free to disagree, but you are wrong. This time around, we are doing Space Station 14 species, and I think I've gotten all of the species from all of the servers I play on, so it's not just like one server that's going to have all these. It'd be way too many, but I kind of like pop through the wikis on all the servers I play on and kind of got all the pictures together and all that. I think I've gotten them all. And I've been on SS14 for a little while. I didn't immediately join the open beta. It was like a little bit after. Um, SS13, I've been playing that for a few years. I've been around. I've been a spaceman for a while. Done quite a few shifts, worked a few departments. I've done some time. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna start off with arachnids. Arachnids, they do get the food dietary restriction of like the the no chocolate, no coffee thing. It's fine. They can eat raw meat, and they do get the extra pockets. The extra pockets do come in handy, and the web spinning. It's fine. I just maybe like to see a little bit more out of it. I don't know, maybe being able to pick your color of like webbing. I know like web's supposed to be like white, but I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit more variety. There are plenty of shifts where I've played an arachnid and just never done anything with the silk spinning. It's like, eh. But I mean, I'll throw them in average. They're middle of the road. They're decent. Not great, not bad. Yeah. Avali. I think Avali are on one of the servers I play on. I don't. I They might be on two. I can't remember. Whatever. But they're one of those species that has like a whole list of bonuses and penalties and whatnots. Um, like they get increased cold damage, which isn't really or no, increased cold protection. Yeah, yeah, cold protection. That's right. And it's not really a big thing because like you don't really see people freeze on flooding the station very often. I think out of all the shifts I've done on all the servers, I've maybe seen it like twice, where somebody freeze on flooded, and cold became an issue. You just like don't walk out in space without a spacesuit. That's about it. You don't see many like nukies or lone ops doing some kind of like weird specialty cryo grenade or something. No freeze on fog or I don't know. They do get the benefit of being able to eat like organs and meat, but though it is a restriction, they can only eat organs and meat and pills. Um, Also, their times two hunger multiplier is rough. You're constantly having to like chow down on meat with an avali, um, and the fact that they are fatally affected by saline, Dexlin, and Dex Plus. That's worse than average. Not terrible, but nah, not for me. Chitinids. So chitinids get the bonus of rad resistance. They get to poop the danger rocks, of course, the radioactive crystals that they excrete when they start taking rad damage. Um, I do want to do a station engineer shift where I just tell the CE, like, hey, set up the AME real quick. I'm going to go bug medical for some rad meds, and I'm going to go get dosed with a little bit of radiation. Going to come back here, and we're going to set up a radiation collector, and I'm going to see if I can power the entire station with my poop. Yeah, just get little bits of doses of radiation, just enough to be able to excrete out one of the crystals, toss it into a 3x3 grid of rad collectors, and just you know leave and then like come back when I need a little bit of a dose, toss the crystal, leave, and kind of do that back and forth, and see if by the end of the shift I can have the entire station powered purely on radioactive poop. That'd be funny. Uh, their big downside is slow drag, the fact that it takes forever for like one of the weaker species to move them. If you've got a medic who's a cat person, a felinid, and they are trying to drag you to evac. God, they need a roller bed. They're gonna drop you if they don't have a roller bed. They're gonna be like, okay, it's gonna take me like 6 minutes to get to evac from here. The other downside is like the no needles thing, but it's like just give me a pill. I'll eat the pill. Give me the jug. I'll slurp it down. Just tell me how many slurps to take, and give me the slurp juice. Their built-in light is also pretty neat. You don't really need a flashlight or your PDA light. You can just turn that on, and yeah, yeah, you got a light that's almost as powerful as a lantern. I'd say it's not quite. I don't think it's quite as bright as like one of the lanterns. Um, Still, absolutely a tier species. Love my chitinids. Cyborgs. I've never been a big fan of the silicons. The like restrictions on not being able to pick stuff up, um, unless you've got like some kind of attachment or whatever. I know there's like one or two attachments that allow them to pick up some things, but not everything. Even going back to like SS13, where it's more well-rounded, not really able to pick stuff up. I know there's like the service bot that you can get the plate and be able to like pick up and put down food, but the exception to that is, and I hope more SS14 servers start porting it over, is the maintenance drone. I loved playing a maintenance drone in SS13. It was probably my favorite like ghost role, where like say I show up and we're like 20 minutes into the shift or something like that. I just go into observer mode and roll a maintenance drone. Just be a little spider robot and run around the station, crawl through the vents, fix stuff up, repair the station, put down tiles, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I love being a little maintenance drone. You can just like kind of ignore people. You're actually, as a maintenance drone, you're supposed to ignore people. You're not supposed to interact with people at all. Uh, but no, I'd say silicons, nah, C tier. Not really for me. Cyclorites. These guys are on, I think, two of the servers that I play on, and they do get some. They do get a serious debuff in the move speed, where it's like you take 15% lower speed, but they got some pretty good benefits to deal with that. They have increased damage, like they don't go down at 100, they go down at like 120. They don't die at 200, they die at 240, so you're a little bit more robust. uh your fists, despite swinging slower, also do structural damage, so that you really cannot trap a cyclorite. You can't keep them in jail. If they want out, they're punching through a wall or going out a window. Yeah, you can't keep them locked down in a room. They do have the like wide back thing where they can carry two air tanks, two nitrogen tanks, and eh, I guess I've never had a real issue with my tank breathers like Plasma Man or Vox. Never really had much of an issue with tank management. Like occasionally with a Vox, if you have a bad station, you might be like scrambling for a nitrogen tank. You might be like, oh Jesus, I need to find one quick. But like I've never had it be a big issue to where I need like a second tank. I'm like, but I'll put them in B. They're pretty average. The slow move does suck, but that structural damage punch like really makes up for it. Uh, Diona. So I've never been the biggest fan of Diona. I've played them a few times back on SS13. I've tested them on SS14. Like, yeah, you get the robust harvest, you get the nymph, but actually in SS14, I almost never see like a nymph that survives. As it almost always, it's like whatever kills the Diona is gonna kill the nymph. They rarely do I see a nymph make it out alive. Yeah, I saw it. I think I saw it more on SS13, where like movement was a little bit jankier. The tile movement. Eh, but no, I think they still see they're not great. Like, eh. Dwarves. So dwarves are basically just humans with resistance to alcohol and the ability to heal from it. I mean, it's a bit of a bonus. Uh, Though weirdly enough, on one of the servers I play on, Delta V, uh, dwarves are disabled as a round start species. You can't roll a dwarf. So I don't know. Like I actually have no idea why they did it. Maybe it's on like the Discord or something. I'm not joining your Discord. It's also why I'm not on any like whitelist servers. I'm not gonna join your Discord and talk on there, and it's have one of your admins that just like spam pings at everybody to show like a cat meme or some shit. No. No, but dwarves I'll say are they're just average. They're all right. They're humans with a little bit of a buff. Felinids or felids or felinoids. I think they have a couple of different names on a bunch of different servers. Um, they're they're decent. The hairball can come in clutch. The ability to like hack out the chemicals, and if you get poisoned or something, if you live by the rule of floor pills or best pills, it might save you. Um, no, they're fine. I'd give them middle of the road. They got the minor downside of the chocolate poisoning and the coffee poisoning. Eh. For Roxy, I don't know. I never enjoyed them. It's like okay, they're a tank breather that breathes water vapor, but there's nothing really special about them. Eh, eh. They're another tank breather, but there's nothing really unique about their tank breathing or whatever. Nah, I'm good. Harpies. So, if there was ever a server where you could not disable harpy vision, oh, this would go straight into like dumpster tier for that server. Harpy vision is awful. One of the servers I play on, you can disable the shader, but I turned it off. I turned off disabling the shader, and oh man, oh, it was disgusting. It's like greens were reds and reds were black. Like everything was like kind of shifted toward the red, and yeah, reds became like invisible. Oh god, gross. But you can turn it off on like every server I've ever played them on. So, mm. As far as the species goes, though, they're fine. They're a little bit weaker respiration resistant or asphyxiation resistance. Um, yeah, they start taking asphyxiation damage at lower impurity levels and like higher oxygen levels than other species. They do have the built-in MIDI player. That's fine, I guess. I mean, I do occasionally play musician. I've got my folder of a couple hundred MIDI files for playing music. Yeah, I'll give them average. They're fine. Yeah. Humans, like why play a human when you got wow all these flavors and you choose salty? No. It's your bog standard human. I get some people just don't want to be a weirdo alien or whatever. Or you have the people who are like irrationally angry about like the furry type species. Whatever. But nah, no, humans not for me. I almost never roll a human. Yeah, yeah. IPCs. Ooh. So server and map dependent. Oh, IPC can be rough. There's on Delta V, one of the servers in the rotation, or one of the maps in the rotation. I think it's Tortuga. I think that's the map name. It's the one with the big old open like courtyard with like the theater on the left and like service north of it. Like chef is north of it. It's got like the little tunnel that cuts through it. That one has absolutely terrible APC placement. Like there's almost no public hallway accessible APCs on that map, and playing an IPC on that is like, oh, that one gets rough. But um, they are pretty robust. They do take the increased electrical damage, but I mean, like finding insoles not that hard. You can barter with engineering. Be like, hey, here's like 2 stacks of metal. Can I get some insoles? And most of them will be like, yeah, sure, here, take them. Uh, oh, I hear people bitch and complain about like how tough they are, but it's like just because you can't like one trick pony every species doesn't mean it's busted. Like they are absolutely one shot weak to EMPs. They take the extra electrical damage. There's ways you can down an IPC pretty easy. Yeah, yeah. You really can't take them down permanently that easily, but eh, it's fine. It's fine as long as you're playing on MRP. It's not a big deal. Like, if you're playing on MRP, like if you knock somebody unconscious, they're not supposed to be able to name you. That's one of the rules. It's like the meta shield where if you get crit, you forget the previous 5 minutes. So it's all you can really say is, oh, I was like walking in mates and then I woke up here. That's kind of like the default story of like when you wake up in like medical or if you're playing an IPC, an engineer repairing you. Yeah. But now all in all, I'd say they're a decent species. Yeah. Kitsune. Kitsune are only on one of the servers I play on. I think it's just Delta V that has them. They might be on other servers. Maybe I haven't played on them, or I tested the server and I just didn't like the vibe of it or something. But uh, they're they're fine. They get the transformation to the fox form. The fox form has increased movement speed. They're real speedy boys, and yeah, no, I think they're decent. They're a fine species. Yeah. Mothmans. So back in SS13, I almost exclusively played a Mothmans. Uh, I I had my Mothman character, and I think it was probably mostly because back in SS13, I played on like 3 servers. I mostly played on Paradise, TG, and Goon, and so on a bunch of those servers, or on a few of those servers, there was an event where gravity would go out, and I played mostly cargo. Like I mained cargo. I did play other roles, of course. I did engineering. I did a few hellburns. I delaminated a few super matter crystals in my day, but uh, yeah, the cargo in a lot of the maps on SS13 was really open, whereas in SS14 they're a little bit tighter. They're not as much open room. So like, on the rare occasion that like power goes out long enough for gravity to go out, it's you're not you're not really having as much trouble moving around. Usually you're no more than like a tile away from a wall, so you can you can move around fine. But back in SS13, it was an actual issue. Like gravity going out was an actual issue in cargo a lot of the time. But in SS14, uh, they're fine. The cloth and fiber dietary restriction is kind of a pain. They, eh, especially if chef isn't cooking anything with like cloth in it, then you got to go to a vending machine and like dispense a shirt and eat it, or like find a bunch of stacks of paper, go steal all the lawyers' paper or something. But I'd say they're fine. Like the flight, the ability to fly when gravity's out is helpful. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oni. So on the servers where Oni don't get the movement speed debuff, there's a few servers I play on where they've removed all the speed debuffs from all the species, and Oni included. So their only downside there is that they're hard to drag. They got the same like kind of chitinid type like slow drag thing, and they also get that negative to ranged weapons, which is kind of meh. I mean, like toolbox them, man. Be a real spaceman. Carry a toolbox. um, but no, their bonus to melee damage is you can really robust somebody with just a toolbox and just beat them up proper. You can put some people down as an Oni. Um, no, I give Oni A tier. Yeah. And Plasma Mans. Man, I really hope Plasma Men make the rounds on a bunch of different stations, because right now there's only one server that I play on that has Plasma Men. That's one that I play on not very often. Um, and is one of the it's one of those servers that it's like it's on the border between like LRP and MRP, where I'm just like, got a lot of LRP shitters on it, but yeah. Plasma Men as a species, though, they're great. They're a lot of fun to play. They're good for learning, tank management and shit like that, though. They're the fact that they are a tank breather because they breathe plasma isn't really a big deal. They have such low consumption rates of the plasma that usually a single tank will last you the entire round. Um, and the minor downside of not being able to take off the spacesuit indoors is whatever. Like, go find a Vox box, or if you need to eat, go out into space. Go out into space, eat your food, and put your helmet back on. I do hope that they port the SS-13 lore over, where they're supposed to be able to eat and drink without taking off the helmet. They're supposed to have like a tube or a port or something. It's been a while since I've read the lore, where they're supposed to be able to eat and drink through it. So I don't know, maybe add a special like container, like a special canteen or something that they can hook up to their tube. And like, oh well, you have to like take the drink that the bartender makes you and pour it into the canteen and then drink it that way. Kind of make it keep the weirdness of them being like always in a spacesuit. Uh, yeah. Nah, I'd say Plasma Man absolutely S tier. Love my weird, kind of unique play styles, and Plasma Men definitely have that unique play style of always being in the spacesuit because, they burst into flames if you take it off in an oxygen environment, because plasma. Uh, Reptilians, or the lizard mans, lizard power. Absolutely great species. They're cold. Their cold susceptibility, not really a big deal. Just like don't go out in space. Like don't play a station engineer and go out and do solars without like a good spacesuit. Um, because like again in SS-14, I don't really see like freeze on flooding. Don't really see cold temperatures that much. And as far as like I guess there are a few maps on a few servers where the temperature is pretty low. There's that one like snow planet, the other one that's like it's like a platform above like a planet or something like that, and it's all covered in snow. I guess that one might suck. I guess wear a coat. Um, but the fact that they do get the ability to also eat raw meat eat organs, drink blood, and they get the bonus of the tail drag. That's so good. Tail drag is such a good ability. You know, you can have your weapons in your hands and then like drag somebody off with you, playing Nukies or something like that as a lizard man. Yeah. Risomi or the Raptors or the Chickens, whichever one you want to call them. They're on two of the servers I play on. On one of the servers I play on, they do get an extra bonus of having a leap, where they can like leap across the screen basically. Uh, that one is a pretty good bonus, but their defaults are that they have night vision, so they can see in the dark. Um, they have a hive mind, so they can speak telepathically to other hive mind species. Um, I think what's the other hive mind species? Avali also have hive mind. Um, but yeah, they're really their only downside is that they're a small species, so other species can pick them up, and yeah, that can kind of be a pain. Is if you're sitting at the bar and you're drinking and somebody comes up next to you and like just picks you up and drags you off somewhere. It's like, eh, okay, now I gotta get out of this and run away. Yeah, I'd still give them average. They're fine. The Rat Boys, Rodentia. I did roll Rodentia. I gave them a solid, 10 rounds or so. They're decent. The trash can digging did come in clutch 1 round. I think I was playing on Delta V, and they had just come out recently. It was really late at night. It was like my last round of the night. I think it was hitting like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. And chef's not, or there's no chef. Kitchen's been raided. All the vending machines are empty. Cargo's like not doing their job ordering pizzas, and I'm just sitting there, digging through trash cans, pulling out food for people. Yeah, so it did come in clutch like one time. Plus, their ability to hide under stuff, like under tables and whatnot, definitely helps you with the, be sneaky beaky. If you like, say the thief role or something like that. Uh, yeah, yeah, I'd give them A tier. They don't have many downsides. It's just small and being able to be picked up is like their biggest downside, but yeah. And Shadekin, oh, I adore you, my little fluffy boys. I do play Shadekin on two servers, and I actually on one server I main a Shadekin, and their like species traits are that they have night vision or they have complete dark vision, so they can see in total darkness. Um, they do not breathe, so they're completely immune to gas attacks. Um, they are. I've actually seen that happen once, where somebody messed with the distro and they did like a nitrous oxide a tank on the station, and I'm like, why is everybody falling asleep? uh, yeah, yeah, but um, they do have the drawback of if they're in bright lights, they start taking heat damage. So really intense lights can eventually set you on fire, but they also heal in total darkness. So like there is no issue. Like not breathing, you can just throw on like an EVA suit for the pressure and go hang out in space, and like you don't have to come back in. They're great spaceborne species. They're great like species for like spacewalks. Um, but yeah, my fluffy little guy, I love him so much. He's a little cutie. I'm gonna have to throw up like pictures above my head of like some of the images I've had generated of him. Little Kumo, my little dum dum. I play him as like kind of a Kumo M's like 40% stupids. Uh, he's doesn't fully grasp galactic common, so he will like pluralize things. He'll use like the wrong words, like instead of like I'm, it's like I is. Instead of like Gravitational anomaly, it would be like gravitational anomaly. Um, instead of gravity, it's gravity. Uh, um, instead of uh, like bartender will be like barmender. Yeah, he just like mishears words and stuff. It's a fun character that I like to play. Slimes. Slimes would be absolute S tier, S plus tier, if their chest pocket was hidden. If it acted almost like a storage implanter, where they had to be like strip searched to see what was inside of it, I think that would be great. You could have like a really secure storage. I just think like if you're playing some kind of Cindy or like a sleeper agent or something like that, and you get busted by sec for something like real minor, like trespass or something. They shouldn't a good sec off shouldn't strip search you for that, even if you were a slime and it was hidden. They shouldn't be strip searching you for like minor infractions. So like being able to sneak things in your prison pocket, uh, hide some telecrystals in there, something like that. I don't know. I think that would like bump them up into like a top tier species. But as is, they're just okay. You know, they're just all right. Yeah, their slow breathe comes in handy. As long as you're not in a completely vented area where you're starting to take barotrauma, you're starting to take like air pressure damage. Um, they're fine. Like the slow breathing, usually you don't even have to put on your gas mask if you're not in a complete vacuum or like really low vacuum. Yeah, yeah. Just because like they breathe. I think it was like a quarter or less rate than other species. So usually you don't start taking asphyxiation damage until it's been like a minute or so. You'll start to see like other people gas well before you do. Station AI, that has always been my least favorite role. I did play a bit of Station AI back in SS13, where even though it was more well rounded, um, as like a station role where you had like more features, more stuff that you could do. Even then, it just I don't know, it wasn't really fun. I didn't really enjoy it. The whole like it's just kind of boring. The whole like looking around the station, and of course you got to answer all those like the LRP shitters coming on to MRP and being like, AI Law 2, open the vault. It's like, no, that's a restricted area. You're not allowed in it. Law 2, you gotta open the door. Like, okay. Open the door, he's inside. Close the door, bolt it. Hey, you're in a restricted area. I'm calling security. Uh, yeah, don't LRP shitter on MRP. Don't don't just be like trying to gray tide on MRP servers. Uh, but no, I never really enjoyed Station AI. Least favorite role. Yeah. Thavens. Thaven are on two of the servers I play on, and man, I do not enjoy playing them. Oh man, I don't. They're a biological species, but like silicons, instead of a law set, they have moods. Where because I play exclusively on MRP, you are expected to role play that mood. You're expected, if you're having a nice conversation with somebody and all of a sudden it's now you're irrationally angry, you're expected to act on that. So it's like they'll be talking to you, then all of a sudden they're screaming and like throwing bottles around the room and all that. And it's just eh, nah, not for me. Not for me. I don't like. Oh, and especially, I know it's on at least one of the servers. I don't know if it's on both, but they can be emagged. Like, is what? I guess somebody can come up and emag them, and it will immediately change their mood, and it's weighted towards negative moods. Yeah, yeah. Nah, not for me. Vox. I love playing my Vox characters. On Delta V, I main a Vox, Kumo Vrivrek. If you've ever seen me rolling around, I kind of talk like a New York Jersey guy, like hey yous. Uh, got like he's kind of dumb, and he's also like kind of he's not really an asshole, but he's like the epistemics, which is the Delta V's science department. He calls them like the nerds. It's like, hey nerds, you need this, and he'll like throw something at him. um, uh, yeah, he also is another one of my characters that doesn't fully grasp Galactic Common. Um, but his is just like misspelling words, not too bad, just misspelling words intentionally. Um, yeah, yeah. I guess there's not really. I don't really have. I never really have an issue with the nitrogen breathing. Like some people, the big warning sign that's on like a bunch of these servers, like help page, or it's like, no, we don't recommend this is for beginner players. It's like it's not hard. It's take off mask, insert food, put mask back on, turn air back on. Like don't. It's four steps. Can you not remember four things? Plus, also throttling your gas tank. That's something um, I teach. Basically, any Vox that I come across, I teach them tank throttling. Where and most servers, you can actually turn down the pressure on your gas tank kind of low. Like the default on most servers is 21.3. And with Vox on most servers, you can cut that down to 17.3 and get an extra like 15% tank time off of it. As long as you don't start, as long as you don't get like some kind of minor poison that's going to cause asphyxiation damage. If you start getting asphyxiation damage, you want to turn that back up. And or if you start building up toxin, you want to turn that back up because that'll like kind of help reduce the toxin buildup from asphyxiation if you start taking that. Yeah, but then once you're fine, you throttle it back down, and yeah, make it last a bit longer. But no, I like my tank breathers. Aside from Feroxy, it's just there's nothing really weird or unique about it, like Vox and Plasma Men. Volcanon or the furries. Nah, like they're fine. They get the bonus of eating raw meat and eating organs and whatnot. I'd rather take a lizard man. I'd rather get the tail drag out of it. Now there is one server I think where they do get a leap, where they can like kind of like leap across the screen, and that one maybe. But I'd rather take the lizard man with the tail drag. They get better. They usually get better heat resistance than the Feroxy, or not the Feroxy, Volcanon, and yeah, they get the same. They get kind of the same bonuses, but they also like get the tail drag. I'd rather that's so useful that I'd rather take that. But they're still fine. They're still fine, and I mean, if you want to play a furry, go for it. I know some people get irrationally angry over the furry species, but whatever. And Yowies. Let me open that one up because its head was covered. Yowies are on two of the servers I play on occasionally, like very occasionally. And I mean they're fun. They're based on the Yowies from the Big Les show. So you got like Sassy the Sasquatch, Donnie the Dealer. Hey, what are you talking about? um, let's go see Big Les. Hey, Big Les, what are you doing? Gonna smoke some weed? No, this isn't Yowie. It's Yoweed. Made by the Yowies. It's a great show. It's an old MS Paint made animated series on YouTube. It's just the Big Les show, and there's also the spin-off series like the Donnie and Clarence show, Sassy the Sasquatch. There bunch of spin-off shows. And yeah, but anyway, the species, they, because of that, basically all of these Sasquatches in that show are just a bunch of drug addicts. You fucking druggo. What are you talking about, Sassy? You the biggest druggo I know. But uh, but yeah, they have resistance to the negative side effects of drugs, so they take like less damage from ODing. And you can reasonably safely like gobble up all the maintenance pills you want. You can go bug psi, go bug or not psi, go bug chemistry for some LSD or mindbreaker toxin, depending on which server you're on. Go bug botany for for some weed. Get the most potent weed that you can. Yeah, yeah, they're fun play. Their downsides are that they are slow to drag. They have the heavy weight, and they can't wear shoes, so they do take glass damage. I know on at least one of the servers I play them on, there is glass damage. So it sucks, but they're just a blast to play. You pull up the website with a bunch of Australian slang. You talk like a bogan, and just wander around the station. It's a real RP heavy species for me. Yeah. Yeah, just go talk to people and, hey, you got any drugs? Looking for some weed. But nah, absolutely S tier. That and sec just leaves you alone. If you're a yaoi, they're just like come across you in mates, and it's like, what are you doing? Looking for drugs. What are you doing? What are you talking about? But anyway, yeah. Again, these have been my objectively correct opinions. Once again, you are free to disagree, but you are wrong. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.